The older we get, the more things start to pop up on our skin. It's lovely, from dry skin to bumps, even moles. Getting older is just, we love it. So today, board-certified dermatologist Jennifer Linder is here, and she is going to tell us what they are, how to treat them, and how to get rid of them as fast as we possibly can.
Because that's the goal.
Because that's our goal. How you feeling, by the way?
Very good,
Little baby
you.
in your belly.
Yeah.
When do you do?
End of April.
So exciting. We're going to have another little Linder.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start. We have a couple of things. We're talking about fungus, nail fungus.
Yeah, everybody loves the nail fungus.
Yeah, I don't think I've had that one yet.
Good. We'd like to keep it that way.
I must be doing something right. But when we get it, how do we treat it? How do we know we have it?
So it's incredibly common. So it can happen either both on the skin of the feet is more common area. It can also happen on the hands. And then it looks dry and flaky. So it's kind of more flaky than normal. And if you look between your toes, you might see like little cracks sort of between the toes is one good way to see it.
Right.
And then on the nails itself, you start seeing little white or little yellow dots. And so if it starts like little dots and it kind of starts expanding and then it gets thicker and it gets kind of brittly looking, then you likely got fungus.
Okay, but you can see it on your nail and you can see it on your feet.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if it's on the skin itself, there's an over-the-counter product that works really well called Lotrimin Ultra, and it used to be a prescription product, now it's over-the-counter.
Yeah,
so you can start
I've
with
seen
that.
it. We own some of that in our household.
So if it starts to itch, that's a great place to start, and usually you need to do it twice a day for at least a week past the time it goes away.
Now, real quick, I would think it's really common, especially with families that have kids, or maybe you're jogging and your feet are sweating.
It can be that, or the fact is, in Arizona, we're running around with bare feet all the time, so you kind of get exposed to it. And it's sort of out in the environment. So you can kind of pick it up anywhere, at the gym, or even just walking around. The nails itself, it usually transfers from the skin to the nail, or, if someone's not using good habits at a nail salon and cleaning the instruments and sterilizing them, so make sure your person's doing that. You can pass it that way too. So if it gets in the nail, you usually actually need to see the doctor.
Okay.
So you want to see a dermatologist, and they can either give you some lacquers that you can put on, or there's a pill you can take.
Because can it get really bad? I mean,
it can get really bad and really thick. So especially if it starts to get painful, you definitely want to treat it.
Yeah,
and so that's a pill you take once a month for 4 months. Typically.
Okay, for 4 months. Wow. Yeah, you definitely don't want it to get to that stage. Okay, let's talk about warts.
Warts. Everybody loves those little warts.
Oh, yes.
So warts is a virus. So fungus is one type of little small particle. Virus is another. And the viruses, again, you can pick them up for sort of anywhere in the environment, and they can either be kind of raised up and funny looking, or they can be these tiny little subtle flat things. If you look in the picture, you can see the little flat ones, and those are called flat warts. And
if you're going to get them, you hope you have those.
Yeah, because they're a little bit more subtle, and they can be a little bit more flesh-colored, versus the other kinds can kind of get thick and whiter in color. And again, the best thing to do, go to the dermatologist. Typically what we do is we freeze them off as the first step, or you can use over-the-counter products like things that have salicylic acid in them to help start bringing them down as well.
Just so you know, this is a so sad moment. I had warts growing up. I had like 13 on my hands. And no one would play Red Rover with me because they wouldn't hold my hand.
You know what? And I think that's something to be conscious of is for kids. Kids can be
they get
so
made
nice.
Fun of.
Yeah. So if your child does have something, I think it's a good time to go to the pediatrician or the dermatologist, and they can do something for it. There's other things we can do. There's even something that's a blister beetle juice that you put on that causes a little blister to cause them to flake off. But to be patient.
Compound W?
You can do that too.
Okay.
So you got to be patient with it. Typically takes several treatments to make it go away, but then it finally does.
Okay. Let's talk about moles.
Yes, this is really important. So we continue getting new moles into our 50s and 60s. What you want to look for are things that change. So normal mole can be flesh-colored, can have a little bit of color, a little bit of brown. What starts happening is if you have a mole that changes, you've got to get it checked out by the dermatologist. Okay. The reason why is it could be a sign that's a melanoma. So if you look at the photographs, you can see that they change from being the things you want to look for is asymmetry. That's when one side doesn't match the other. Border irregularity, looks like a little funny island. Color variation, one's more red, one's more brown, one part's more black. And then if if it's bigger than a pencil eraser, you really need to be aware of it. And the last thing is evolution. So that's the A, B, C, D, E's. E is evolution, which basically means change. If you have a mole that changes, please get it checked out. Arizona has the highest melanoma rates in the United States.
I bet with that sun that's just beating down on us. How do you know the difference between a mole and like a large freckle or even an age spot? Because the older we get, those little things grow.
Exactly. So a freckle should be even in color, and it should have very even borders. And they are naturally in sun-induced areas, so that's normal.
Do they get bigger as we get bigger?
They do get bigger as we get bigger, and as we get more sun, we're going to keep getting more and more of them.
Okay.
And moles, the same thing. Changing.
Okay.
It's those changes and those irregularities.
Really
that
keep an eye on it.
Keep an eye on it.
All right, before we go, let's talk about skin tags.
Yes.
Lots of people have them.
Lots of people have them. We tend to get them on our necks and underneath our arms. And so those things, really easy to cut off. Usually your doctor can take care of it. Pretty darn simple to do, actually.
Yeah.
Freeze them or cut them off.
Yeah, they're just not real pretty.
Yeah, they're just more annoyance than anything else. And in our darker skin patients, they can also get them underneath their eyes, and that's called a DPN. And the same kind of thing, we can sort of cut them off and make them go away.
Good, because I would think everything, if you leave it too long, it could turn into something.
They can just get bigger. Skin tags, luckily, never turn into skin cancer.
Okay, good.
So that's a good piece of news. They just kind of get more annoying.
Right. Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Congratulations on the
Thank you.
baby. It's fun having you come in and you just get bigger and bigger. I'm sure you just love that. All right. We are going to have all of Dr. Linder's information on SonoraLiving.com if you'd like to get some more information from her.